Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Delightful Chef Eats, and I am the Delightful Chef. Today I'm working on some Caribbean style or Jamaican style curry chicken. So I'm starting with 3 chicken legs that I've butchered just before. If you would like to see the video of how I butchered this chicken, please refer to my Instagram, which is at Delightful Chef Eats, or my Facebook, which is just at Delightful Chef. 2 L's for the full. So I've added about like a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon and a half of salt, and I've added a half a teaspoon of pepper to my 3 chicken legs. Now I'm going to add a really good teaspoon, like a heaping teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, which is like a seasoning salt. If you don't have all-purpose seasoning or seasoning salt, you could just add a little bit more salt. And now I'm going to add a big heaping teaspoon, or instead of using heaping teaspoon, I'd say that I'm adding about 3 teaspoons or 4 teaspoons of curry spice. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to have to add any more throughout the cooking process. Of course, if you're cooking more chicken, you would add more curry. Here I'm adding half a clove of garlic, and I'm adding 2 pimento seeds or all-purpose seasoning, sorry. Pimento seeds or allspice, Caribbean allspice. And I'm adding half an onion here. So now I'm starting my cooking process. So my stove is about medium right now. And I'm adding some oil, not too much, just enough to get it going, as if you were to like fry an egg or something. And I'm adding the other half of my onion here. I just want my onion to start sweating, which means I want it to start cooking, softening, and becoming a little translucent. If you start to get browning at this point, then I would suggest for you to turn down your stove. Now I'm going to add that other clove and a half of garlic and 2 more pimento seeds that I've just crushed. I just use the bottom of a cup to just crush them, or you can leave them whole so that you can pull them out afterwards. So I'm going to let that continue to sweat together, and as you can see on the side, I've prepared some potatoes, thyme, and Scotch bonnet pepper. So I put about 3 potatoes in here, and I've cut them, as you can see, quite largely. And you want to make sure that you cut them that size because they're going to be in your pot for the entire cooking process, so you don't want them to cook down to nothing before your chicken is done. I've also added some sprigs of thyme and a Scotch bonnet pepper whole. I added it whole because if you cut it, it's extremely hot. When you add it whole, you can control the heat, and if it starts to get too hot for you, you can pull it out. And of course, if you want it to be spicier, you can cut it up. So here's the chicken that I seasoned earlier. I allowed it to marinate for about an hour in the fridge, and I'm going to add it to the rest of my vegetables in the pan. So now that I've done that, I'm going to start to stir it around, and I'm going to start to sort of toast my curry spice. So I've added the curry to the chicken, and before I add liquid to my pot, I want to just saute the chicken and toast my spice and start to get the aromas and everything, the oils and the curry going before I decide to add any liquid to this. So I'm going to stir this around, and looks like I forgot. There you go. I add a little bit of ginger. I was going to say, I don't know where I add the ginger. So this is about 2 teaspoons of ginger that I add to this. I use my ginger frozen because I find it's super easy when you need to use it. Like, I just use my microplane, as you can see here, and just grate it in, and it comes out almost like Parmesan cheese. It's really easy as opposed to when you use it fresh. So this is cooking for about 10 or 12 minutes, and as you can see, my chicken is already starting to cook and fall apart, and now I'm just adding a little bit of water. I just want to barely cover everything in the pot. As you can see, things are still popping out at the top, and that's what you want to do because you can always add, but you can't take out. And you let that cook until you see that your chicken is falling apart and your potatoes are done. Thank you for watching. I'm the Delightful Chef. Please like, share, and subscribe, and that's what